Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. We are back from our end of the year break. We hope you all got off to a good start for the new year. Let's go to Spotlight. Boys basketball, top scorers. Joe Roth, Elwood City, 30. Albert, is he averaging close to that?
Oh, definitely.
Donovan Carney of Butler, 28 and 21. Butler 9-1, number 2 in 6A. Jackson Bauman of Knock, 27 and 23. Knock 9-2. Troy Fleming of Union Reimersburg, 22. Max Hurry of North Catholic, 21. North Catholic 7-5 in 4A. Will Conto of North Catholic, 20. Derek Lang of Knock, 20. Ryan Check of Mars, 20. He averages 25 a game. Hobie Bartow of Karn City, 20. And Josh Book of Slippery Rock High School, 20. For the girls, Elena Rocco, North Catholic, 24 and 22. The Lady Trojans are 6-4. They're number 2 in 4A. And Elena, she is a Harvard recruit. Megan Murray of Hampton, 24. Hampton 6-5. Natalie Hamby, Seneca Valley, 24. Seneca Valley 9-2, number 5 in 6A. What a good job by Dorothea Epps this year.
Absolutely.
And Brady Wayner of North Catholic, 20. And let's go to, if I can get my fingers working here. Got pages stuff together. Wrestling, how about Santino Sloboda of Butler? He's the number 2 ranked wrestler in the 114-pound class in the WPIAL. He's 15-0. Vaughn Spencer of Pine Ridge, and he's number 2 in a 172-pound class. He is a Bucknell recruit. In swimming, boys, Noah Collins of Mars, 3-event winner. And for the girls, Addison Vance of Butler, a 3-event winner. And in recruiting news, Butler wrestler Anna Malovich, 114-pound class. She commits to Grand Valley State of Michigan, and she will be a member of their first ever women's wrestling team.
Wow.
Quite an accomplishment career for her.
I'm sure. Just starting out that sport for females.
And in Post-Gazette High School hockey rankings, 3A, number 1, Seneca Valley 10-3, number 2, North Allegheny 8-3-1, number 5, Pine Richland 7-4, and in 1A, number 5, North Catholic 9-3-1. Let's go to our stories of the week. All right. I have figured it out, the NFL. I got it all figured out now. I know what's going on. It's ruled by witches, covens, and sorcerers. If you can make sense out of this season, when I was watching the Giants and the Eagles, and Tyrod Taylor comes on and throws for what, 300 yards? No, what a crazy year for backup quarterbacks in the NFL. But let's go to our story. On November the 12th, the Steelers were 6-3. And then they lost 4 or 5. And we were looking at their schedule with Arizona, New England, and coming up Indy. And we said, well, they're going to be 10-4. They're going to challenge for this division. And they lose those 3 straight. And then suddenly, because of injuries, ineffectiveness on Pickett and Trubisky, Tomlin, out of desperation, not design, goes to Mason Rudolph, who was covered with cobwebs, sitting on a bench for 2 years. And he's been brilliant. I've always been a fan of his. He's had a quarterback rating of 115. You have to go back to Roethlisberger days before that. And so the Steelers beat Cincy, beat Seattle, go into Baltimore, get a break. It was a good win, not a great win. Baltimore sat 7 of their starters, 75% of the offense didn't play. But it's a win. Puts them in the playoffs, 10-win season, first time in 4 years.
And they draw Buffalo.
I was hoping Miami.
Yeah, the line says 10 is going to 12, is going to 13. They're a big underdog. That's what happens when you the luck of the draw. I think they could beat Kansas City. I think they could beat Miami.
Yeah, Miami's beat up.
I don't think they have much chance against Buffalo.
Miami's 2 best defenders are Jalen Waddle.
They really miss Waddle because they can really cover number 10 as well as
and Tua has been struggling.
Oh, terrible. He was terrible.
Now, look at Buffalo. They won 5 in a row. They started off. They struggled there for a while. Beat Dallas. Beat Kansas City. Josh Allen, he's a terrific player, but he can be erratic at times. He does some stupid things, forcing the ball when he should either throw it out of bounds or even take a sack. So the Steelers need that kind of game from him. The big problem is that Watt is not going to play.
Major.
The Steelers are injury. 1-10 without him.
Major injury is Watt out. I mean, because the reason Josh Allen makes his mistakes is when he gets they get after him, and I don't give any hope at all. When I tell you that, I see no chance for the Buffalo.
See, I don't necessarily believe that because it depends. If Josh Allen protects the ball, pretty hard to beat him. If he tries to make those heroic throws and he throws a couple picks,
they're going to be able to block Highsmith because they won't have 2 on Watt.
That's true.
That's the big thing.
And the other thing, I was surprised how well Buffalo's been running the football.
They've changed a little. Since Brady took over as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they've done a much better job.
He made it a point to run the ball a little more.
And they lost their best linebacker. Their defense has been much better. When Milano went out, you thought they would really go down, but they played pretty well defensively.
They've been on playoff mode for 5 weeks too.
Yeah, playing under
They
pressure
had
like
to.
that.
No, they were out.
Yeah, they wouldn't have got in.
No one gave them a chance to make it. I know we didn't.
Yeah.
Here,
I did.
Albert did because I listened to them and jumped because their odds were ridiculous. About 5 weeks ago, they were left for dead.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what's funny about all of this? Because when the Steelers were going to play Cincy, not one Pittsburgh scribe, and I don't think we did either, gave them a chance to win. They were going to Seattle. No one picked. Now they're all singing the praises of the Steelers.
One guy praised Tomlin all year. Me.
Yeah.
I've been telling you all along that
Okay.
he kept them together. Remember, he got 2 prima donnas there that I don't know what you do with them.
Yeah,
You know,
I
mean, I understand those 2 guys.
Yeah, if there were no player union, it's easy what do. Throw them off. They throw them off of your team. But guess what, Ed? They wouldn't throw them off their own.
Now Pickens didn't catch a pass in this game. I didn't watch his demeanor at all. I didn't see how he was acting. Deontay Johnson.
That weather was atrocious.
And
He ran a reverse, too. At least he had 1 touch.
Brutal.
You know that.
Now, if the Steelers were to beat Buffalo, they go to Baltimore.
They're not scared of Baltimore.
No,
They're
not. No, they're not. But I mean, they won. They couldn't help it. The Baltimore won the rest of those 7 starters. Their 2 All-Pro defensive backs, Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, didn't play. Plus the other starters on offense. So
what happened when they played the first time?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they won.
Maybe in the first time.
Steelers won.
Right.
But everything changes. That was what, 3rd game of the year, 4th game of the year.
I just give Pittsburgh all the credit. That's all I can say.
No, I'm giving
it's
credit.
It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
10 wins they have. They have 10 wins.
First time in 4 years.
With the team they got, 10 wins. Jeez.
Well, here's the thing now about Rudolph. Whether they win in Buffalo or not, come next summer when they go to camp in July, 1, do the Steelers sign him to a multi-year contract that would pay him $8 to $10 million a year? Does he go into July camp as a starting quarterback?
No.
Why not?
I'm just saying. You asked me.
Yeah.
I know. And I'm asking
they pay him money. They pay him. It's money. It's a money thing. It's not.
He didn't make that much now, Cap.
No, but I'm saying he's #1 pick. That's wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying when you sign a #1
But
pick.
if you get rid of Trubisky, you make the money up.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get rid of Trubisky.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
Pickett's going to be the starter.
And then again, Rudolph may say, I'm going to test the waters again.
Yeah.
Maybe someone out there who might be
should.
interested.
Well, this audition. Wait a minute. 18 for 20 in a blizzard.
Yeah,
You should test it.
115 quarterback rate. He hasn't thrown a pick yet.
No.
Having said that, I hope I don't want to put the curse
No, I know
on
what
him.
you mean.
But he's made great decisions with the football.
Hey,
He
tell the
seems-
people too. Saturday night it's Peacock game, so they know ahead of time. Kansas City, Miami's a Peacock game.
No, I'm
Eddie, on this show, we've said this for as long as we've been on. The major change is not Rudolph. The offensive line has been unbelievable.
I was going to get to that.
I'm telling you, they're handing the ball to Harris,
Yeah.
and he's got 4 yards before he's getting hit.
Yeah,
what got into this?
I see different. I see the passing the ball. They had 9 up with Pickett.
They couldn't run the ball.
They couldn't run it against Arizona. They couldn't run it
Against
against
no one.
New England. They couldn't run it against the Colts. What New England, they averaged 2.1 yards a carry. So, yeah, that's turned
It's
the
been
offensive
amazing.
line
It's been
has done a
amazing.
tremendous job.
Sure.
So, having said that, the point you bring it up, you keep Mike Sullivan as your offensive coordinator. Why would you change and upset the apple cart?
I don't know that.
Would you keep him?
I think they probably will.
I would.
You at least
But-
know
but-
the
but-
search, right?
It's the same
You
thing
have to
I've
have a
said
search.
to you, Eddie, and I mean this sincerely. I told George many times. They're running the exact same plays they ran with Canada.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
They didn't
It's
change
just
in
they're
3 days.
blocking. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Who is their offensive line coach? You know that?
Well, I don't know the
I don't know.
offensive
That's
line
the guy who
coach.
should get the
Yeah.
credit.
Well-
Out of nowhere, they're blocking people.
And the other thing is, if Sullivan, if this has worked, and he's built this chemistry with the offensive players, why would you change it? So you bring someone else in, you're going to start all
Once
over
again, it's Canada's offense. So do you want Canada's offense run more? I would have to change it. I have to bring somebody in.
So when you say that about Canada's offense,
it is totally.
Well, look how different it's been under Mason
They're
Rudolph.
blocking. And Rudolph. It's a combination of both. But it ain't the offense change. It's the exact.
No, you couldn't change
same
it in 4
offense.
days.
Here's a guy that's been maligned viciously in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
I've heard the Pittsburgh scribes say he stinks. He's a bum. Now they're all singing his praises. You know the guys I'm talking about.
Well,
I don't listen to him, so that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's back in going back into the summer when they were practically joking about him getting booed when he came onto the field in a preseason game.
I thought the chanting his name at the hockey game was the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I just
now they're all putting up
why?
these signs about him. It goes to show you how fickle the fans are. Now, when you look at this game in Buffalo, the other factor is going to be the weather. It's probably going to be less than 20 degrees, frigid cold.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts. Both teams are used to playing in cold weather.
Yeah, that is a great comment. That one team, Pittsburgh, could play a lot of teams who aren't used to it. Buffalo plays in this all the time, so there's not a thought that we're going to go play in this weather. That's what we do. Pittsburgh and Buffalo both are ready.
I heard a guy saying that the other day. He said New England for years, known for the bad weather games in January, said they practice outside all the time.
Well, to me, I think the key to this game is going to be which team can run the ball. The Steelers are going to try to force their will on Buffalo, and Buffalo believes they could run the ball. If they ran the ball in Kansas City, they ran the ball in Dallas, they have to feel they could run it on the Steelers.
Well, that's the one. I told you Buffalo's going to win easy. But if Steelers have any chance, it's keeping the ball away from Buffalo. That is their chance, like 3, 4, 4, play action. Rudolph hits somebody for a touchdown. That's their chance.
That play action.
Yeah.
Yes. Now the Bills favored by 10. Too much?
No.
You think it's the right?
No.
What's the over and under?
I'd guess 43 without. I haven't seen it.
Buffalo has to be pretty high because Buffalo scores so many points.
Yeah.
I think that.
Pittsburgh doesn't. So. Oh, wait a minute. I did see it. It's much lower than I thought it would be.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at the tail of the tape. The Bills averaged 26 points a game, 26.2. The Steelers averaged 17.8. Bills defense, they give up 18.2. The Steelers 19. And there's another thing. For the fifth time in the last 6 years, the Steelers are upside down. Points scored and points given up. And you would think you'd have losing seasons every year with that. That's
I'll tell you what. I study that plus or minus run differential in baseball. It's the same way. You win the close games, you get blown out a couple of times. This is what happens in a 16-game, 17-game. When it's 160, many times it will even out. But with only 17 games, you lose 3 blowouts, let's say by 120 points. You have to win 43 pointers.
Yeah, so that's overrated.
The Steelers are blown out.
The Steelers are really good inside the 20 on defense.
Yeah.
Their red zone defense is really good.
A lot of field goals, Ed.
All right, let's look around the NFL. Here's a team I think is dangerous. Houston 23, the Colts 19. C.J. Stroud, boy, when he's healthy, and they're going, they are a tough team to beat. My coach of the year is D'Amico Ryans. What they win last year, Houston, 3 games, takes them to 10 wins. He's done a tremendous job with them. They've become a very physical football team. They're a dangerous team in the playoffs.
They hit a gold mine with Stroud.
Yes, absolutely.
They hit a gold mine, and their offensive line has really come together. Put that cover together. A player like him and blocking for Singletary.
When is the last time rookie coach, rookie quarterback?
I don't think many times,
That's
George.
what I'm saying. No.
But the part they're not talking about is how good Cleveland's been playing.
Well,
we
are
are
going to get to the Browns. So Cleveland at Houston. Cleveland took off last week, lost to Cincy 31-14. But you know how good they've been under Flacco. Threw for 1,500 yards in 4 games, 13 touchdown passes, and the winner will be
Cleveland.
Houston.
I'm going to go with Houston myself. I think
I really like the Browns team.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Oh, you're not the only one.
Yeah,
I
think the bettors like them too. Is that right?
They're favored by a point. I mean, you just have to. You're picking a winner in that game.
Yeah.
Points won't come into play.
And Miami at Kansas City. Miami banged up Kansas City, I think. Even though this is not the same Kansas City team, they don't have the same
not
weapons.
Close, not close.
I think they're good enough to beat Miami.
A toss-up for me. I'll take Miami just because if the weather was – now the weather's going to change.
0 degrees.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Kansas City's
One caveat.
Kansas City's played lousy. I'm going to tell you how bad the team has played.
Miami, everyone looks at that weather. Do you remember what they did in Buffalo last year? Played them off their feet.
I remember. Yeah,
in a blizzard.
I know who has a better team.
That's true.
I know who has a better team this year. I just don't know the weather is going to affect. Kansas City stinks. They've played lousy. They have not played
they've
good for
not
7
had a
weeks.
good year.
Yeah,
you got Mahomes throwing his helmet, Kelsey coming off the sideline.
Over and over. I mean, every week you think it's going to change.
They can't
score.
And look what we're saying. They're 11-6, and we're saying they had a lousy year because they set the standard of winning 13, 14 games every year.
Their defense is good. Their offense
and
they're a tough team to run the ball.
Their
division
with Jones in the middle of that defense, he's a run stuffer.
He's a great player.
And they have 2 big outside linebackers.
You know what? Don't forget that lousy 6-game division.
Thank you for that, George.
You know they have the youngest secondary in the NFL.
Oh, easily.
Oh, I believe, yeah.
Easily.
They have a great defense.
Yes, their defense is good. Their offense is good.
Hey, you know, there's someone I wanted to mention. The flap in the Seattle game where rumor was Pickett said, I'm not going to be the backup. So he was deactivated. Trubisky was the backup. Pickett said, I never said that. And then the Steelers made some statement about he wasn't ready. So does anyone know what really was going on? You don't expect, when people say the coaches aren't telling the truth, they never tell the truth.
Nobody tells the truth in the NFL.
No, they don't do it.
No.
So
Brady was on the injured list on Thursday.
Every week.
Yeah. I would be surprised. I want to take Pickett's side. I'd be surprised that he would say something.
I'd be surprised
like that.
too.
All right, let's go over to the NFC. San Francisco gets a bye. The Rams at the Lions, and the winner will be
Lions.
I like the Lions too.
And I like the Rams, so I'm going to find out.
How about they switch quarterback?
The quarterbacks going
Right.
against one another. That's an interesting one. And Green Bay at Dallas, and the winner will be
Dallas.
I'm taking Green Bay.
Dallas.
I like the way Green Bay's playing.
You'd have a good upset there, Eddie.
Yeah.
You'd have a good upset there.
I mean, they're 8-0 at home. That's the only thing you're going into.
Yes. And the Eagles at Tampa. What is going on with the Eagles? Have they fallen apart? When the backup quarterback who hasn't played comes in the game and torches you for 300 yards, there's something wrong.
Coach is a cowboy. I told you what's wrong.
Yeah, they're
Coach
pointing
is a
fingers at
cowboy.
each other. They're pointing
going
fingers.
for fourth down in his own 20, going for 2 down 9. He wants you to see how smart he is, and he's about ready to get. If you think they rodeo,
if he loses this game, he could lose his job.
Absolutely.
I know he could.
And Tampa, they're a tough physical team. They're not explosive offensively, but Baker Mayfield, he makes plays.
He's a playmaker, yeah. I still take Philadelphia. I can't take Tampa.
and he's got Godwin and Evans. I mean, you can't ignore them.
What were they, 8-8? Or what was
9-8.
That's what I'm saying. I can't take Tampa.
All right, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's move on to the college football playoff championship. Michigan 34, Washington 13. Powerful running game with Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. And then that Michigan got real conservative in that game with Washington stacking the box with 8. And finally, they went with play action on first down, opened things up again in the fourth quarter. And their 2 wins over Alabama and Washington just demonstrates the power of their offensive lines and their front 7 on defense.
Yeah, that's why they play, and they're not going to change. As I said, they stack the box. I was talking to Michigan Mike, and he said, Mike, they're going to run the ball, and they'll be stubborn. They were stubborn for two quarters.
Yeah.
Finally on first down through a pass.
Let me say this too: McCarthy is vastly underrated.
Yes.
You're going to find out in the draft.
He's clutch.
And he's fast.
And he comes
He
up
one
with
loss
clutch
in 3
plays.
years. 36-1. I mean, come on.
And they're going to have about 7 or 8 players that play in the NFL. How about that beast on defense? What is he, 6'4", 340?
Nice one.
And he runs like he weighs 190.
Do you remember the Penn State game when he ran the guy down?
Yes.
The running back, Ed?
They're studs.
He ran the guy down from the other side of the field.
So Harbaugh went from being 1-6 in postseason play to now 3-6.
Yeah.
Gets the championship. Does he stay at Michigan? Does he leave?
He's gone.
Where do you think he's
Chargers. He's gone. He got the Chargers job. Let's put that. I'll be
Is that
shocked.
the word is? The Chargers job?
In everything I read, and Once he won that championship, he has nothing left now. He's going to go to Chargers.
I believe he's going to leave.
He wants an NFL
And
championship.
the Chargers have the best quarterback coming in. Like if you were starting, you'd start with Chargers.
And he was 44-17 with the 49ers, so he did a pretty good job there. Now the question is, if he goes to the Chargers, where does Belichick go?
I'm guessing Washington.
Washington.
They lost to the Jets 17-3. I think it broke a 15-game losing streak for the Jets. New England threw for 31 yards. 31 yards. I mean, this is unheard of.
No quarterback.
They're just
No
pathetic.
receivers.
Yeah.
And he picked these players. He has no one. He can point right like this because he drafted every stinking receiver and every stinking quarterback.
And so the word is, if he is to come back, he will no longer be the general manager.
He won't come
And
back.
that's why he won't come back. And that's a good point.
Yeah,
he won't.
good point, Ed.
He'll look at you.
I wouldn't hire him at Washington if he wants to be the GM too. I wouldn't hire him.
Yeah,
I'd say, I want you to come in and coach. Here's our GM. He's gonna.
if he didn't want that record so badly, I would say he turned it down. But he wants that. He wants the all-time victory record bad.
If he goes to Carolina, it'll take him 10 more years.
You know, he has 304 wins, but also with this season he has now 165 losses, with ties in with George Hallis. Of course, Hallis coached what?
They both
35 years,
coached a long time.
40
Yeah,
years,
Bill Bourne
something
was
like.
the
Yeah, it's going to
quarterback.
happen. All right, so to look at the college format, and look at that Alabama game, the way that game ended. And Alabama's offensive line got chewed up by Michigan, 6 sacks. But the end of the game, what do you think about that last play, the quarterback draw with Millville?
Just pathetic.
I thought it was going to be a play action.
That's your boy, Tommy Reese.
Not my boy.
Let me tell you, listen,
Not my boy.
But here's what happened. It was cat and mouse. They each came to the line, didn't like the look, and called a timeout. He came to the line, didn't like the look, didn't have a check with me ready, and they had to go. You only get one timeout in overtime.
Well, there are 2 significant plays there, and I forgot to mention, what was Trevor Lawrence thinking about when he changed the play at the line of scrimmage and tried to stretch for 2 yards?
Yes.
You know, he has regressed.
He hasn't played good at all.
I don't
The
think he
second
might be-
half-
I know he's hurt though. I'll say he's hurt, but he's played lousy.
He's thrown, what,
I think he's really
10
hurt.
picks the second half of the season.
That's my boy Fabio.
Well, let's go next year. We're going to look at this 12-team format. And did I not say that this was going to happen 2 years ago?
You called that one, Eddie.
Reiterated by
Yes.
Charlie Baker, the NCAA president. He said it's time for the upper echelon to move on with everything, names, image, and likeness, a playoff format. We said this was coming, be reduced. And the New York Times had an article that said, college football, the best money can buy.
Yeah.
These are building programs through cash.
It makes me cry because I grew up excited to watch.
How about this? We were talking on the way over. Las Vegas, UNLV, finally got a quarterback. He went to Georgia the other day. I mean, you know, like if you're St. Francis, PA, they finally had a good big man. They stole him in the handshake line.
And I think Alabama, about 15 players left.
Oh, he
And
wants them to leave.
You even hear Kirby Smart say after that blistering beating of Florida State 63-3, he said, it's a shame that all those players for Florida State opted out of this bowl game. There were over 100 players that dropped out of bowl games.
How about Penn State? The guy came dressed. He was dressed. And he didn't tell him, Eddie. And one more thing in Alabama. Last year, they all showed for their bowl game. And they asked Saban the other day, said, why would your guys show? The school paid their insurance.
And now, what, 15 players have left Alabama?
Well, he wants to leave.
I don't want to go past that fast. George said something really important that fans understand this. The portal works 2 ways: kids who want to leave and coaches who want to leave.
Yeah.
All those Alabama players.
You don't
He
want
was called in and said, "I'm bringing 15 new players in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to play, get out.
You want to play for UAB?
Get out.
He has done this forever. People think you get a scholarship, it's good for 4
He
years.
runs you out.
It's good for 1 year. Yeah. If he doesn't like you, you're gone.
You play for Troy.
That's why you say, Alabama, how'd they bring in 33 players?
Georgia's doing it big time now. Georgia's running players off all the
Eddie,
time.
it's mathematics. You're allowed 25, but in 4 years, you're only allowed 85. So what's it tell you?
Hey, congratulations, West Virginia. They finished 9-4. Great win over North Carolina.
Neil Brown, you came on the show.
Let's go, Mountaineers.
And Ole Miss spanked Penn State.
What was that, a spanking? Was that a spanking or what?
It was a slaughter.
I don't know how he's keeping his job.
I would agree with you.
Franklin, I mean, I have no idea
Because
why
he
he's
fires
keeping his
all the
job.
assistants. That's
I
why.
have no idea how he's keeping.
I don't see that at all.
He deflects the blame on all the
No,
assistants.
and listen, both D-backs were out against that.
Once
team.
again, the teams aren't playing. The kids
He had
aren't
no
playing.
chance.
All right, let's next year you're going to see, but 12 teams in a playoff, you're going to see the significance of the bowl games further and further and further decline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some high school football. Aliquippa now bumped to 5A based on championships, transfers. Why not just move them to 6A or the Big Ten? And by the way, they moved them to 5A. You know they're going to play at least 2 6A teams. Part of the schedule.
They have to, yeah.
They have to do that for the 6A
Tell
teams.
those 6A teams. Tell him, Phil, and see how they feel.
Now, Aliquippa boys 9 through 11, they have what, 90?
And the
Yeah.
kids.
Butler has 833,
I know.
and they have not committed to 6A. They may end up playing an independent schedule with, I don't know who they would play, scrap together 7 or 8 teams. There's such a huge difference there.
Yeah, it's not fair. So I just say it all the time. Factually.
We looked up Aliquippa. We got 80 kids per grade. Albert, in 12 grades, they have 1,000 kids.
And
so half of those are girls.
They say they're going to appeal, but it's not going to work.
No.
They've gone from 1A to they win at each level.
Devil's advocate. They won it.
Yeah.
That's how good they are.
Now I don't know that much about the transfer situation here.
One place
players
they're getting
coming
players from Ambridge. That's
Yes.
Ambridge is so bad.
Is that the reason?
Rochester.
Yeah, Ambridge is
And
bad.
what they do,
Okay.
they look at the roster. And if there are 3 names that appear on it that weren't on last time, they're transfers.
I say it all the time. Aliquippa and Faro have that lower economic.
95% reduced lunch.
Yeah, 95%.
Yeah.
So the kids leave grandma in Rochester, go to grandpa in Aliquippa,
Yeah.
and 3 months later, they're back in Rochester. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Because my daughter teaches at Faro, so I know about it.
Yes.
My question is Southern Columbia. 7 straight state championships.
Yeah.
And something is going on.
And they don't
transfer.
they don't get moved.
No
at all.
transfers.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.
Armstrong has been a part of Butler County for over 60 years. We've run hundreds of miles of high-speed fiber, and we're not stopping. Your internet, television, and telephone connectivity is backed by a team of local technicians who are backed by their local office, who is backed by our 24/7 network operations team, as well as our 24/7 customer service center. Can the other guys say that? We didn't think so. Armstrong. Unmatched employees, unmatched technology, unmatched fiber network.
High school sports, community events, all of your favorite local shows are calling the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel their home. Find out everything your neighborhood has to offer on Channel 100 or on YouTube. Spirit, town pride, local communities. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.